Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching the Diary Lounge here on DreamTV and BTV. My name is Renji Stella, and a special good morning to you if you have just joined us. I understand that a one Zach 40 is watching us all the way from Canada on www.imc.ug. We do appreciate you, but also we have an app, the Doxa app, right?
The Doxa app, yes, it
Yeah.
is. Now, for clarity, you've been using the Victory app, or if you know somebody that has been using the Victory app, let them know that in a short while, nothing like DreamTV or BTV or Impact FM or Doxa itself will be on the Victory app, or even Alpha Digital. You won't find it there in a short while. So I just want to encourage you, go to Play Store, especially, yes, to Play Store for mujira mulindako mujira mulinda katono tujja balowoozaako naye tutandise n'aba Android ku Play Store funa application bagita Doxa bakiwandiika DOXA. Bw'otuuka yoteeka mu buteesi Doxa the app ojja kusoŋŋaana nga gidownloading following a prompts gidownloading ojja kubeera nga buli kyolaba wano ku BTV oba ku DreamTV oba kyowuliza ku Impact Radio oba kyolaba ku kyonna kijja kubeera nga kibeerako ku Doxa app eno eri more convenient gy'oli w'oli wonna si nsonga oli mu ggwanga oba oli w'eri wa ggwanga ojja kusobola okubeera nga nate goberera biki ebigenda mu maaso ku media houses zaffe zonna kati Victory app mu biseera bitali byewala ojja kubeera ng'osangako programs za Victory Christian Center zokka services, Wednesday morning service, osangeko Sunday services, osangeko overnights, osangeko super Saturdays, osangeko special Sunday services byojja okubeera ng'osangako ku Victory app n'olwekyo wandibadde transitioning ng'obudde bukyali kubanga opportunity weeri nnyonnyo ddala.
Now, sadly, our next story is one that I wish I was not talking about. But here we are. 70 people have been killed in an attack on a hospital within Sudan as that war escalates. Sudan has come back to our radar. Sudan and Congo are one of those countries that every other day we are talking about.
What do they have in common, especially the old Sudan and the Congo?
We know what they have in common.
What did they have before now?
Before now, what did they have?
They both were extremely huge countries. Of course, the Sudan has been torn into two. Yeah,
but
South
Congo
Sudan, but Congo still remains, and that is a problem, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought only having the mineral is a problem.
No, the size itself, there's plenty of problems for the Congo, especially because the topography is also a problem.
Yes.
Having rivers and forests and so on makes it easy, for example, for rebels to find hideouts and so on. Transportation is difficult, the construction of roads is difficult, and so on. For example, they use a lot of water transport and a lot of dilapidated vessels, and it's terrible. It's
and yet every now and then we talk about people capsizing in those boats because they are overcrowded. Being the only means of transport. Now, if you are looking at your screen, you might be wondering what is in flames there. It is a hospital where around 70 people are killed in an attack on this hospital just in Sudan's city of El Fasher. And the World Health Organization came out to make that report. The attack targeted the Saudi teaching maternal hospital, which local officials blame on the rebel group, the Rapid Support Forces. This incident comes as the civil war in Sudan intensifies and, of course, apparent losses to Sudanese military forces. Now, on Saturday, the army chief, who is General Abdel, appeared near a building oil refinery in north of Khartoum, which his forces claim to have seized from the RSF. Now, interestingly, the neighboring South Sudan, upon this happening, South Sudan went on to switch off all access to social media platforms for at least 30 days. Of course, they do not want people to continue watching this, circulating the mess, all the videos showing the alleged killings of
It's
South
a big problem,
Sudanese.
and what it does is that it affects also South Sudan. Remember, this was one country. Now,
Yeah.
in building infrastructure for it, most of the oil is in South Sudan. Most of the refineries are in Sudan. So a lot of this oil still goes north, is refined and
And
exported.
then,
Yeah, so there is still a connection between the two countries, and sharing agreements for the revenue from the oil and so on. So they still are affected by that particular war. Kari, the scramble and partition of Africa has not ended.
okay.
It has not ended, and you'll find Europe sometimes, then the US at other times, then you'll find China in other instances. The new player in the market, because Russia has been there as well, but the new player in the market is the United Arab Emirates, who is continuing, or the country is continuing to form partnerships, significant partnerships with other countries in Africa. And the significant contributions usually in renewable energy and infrastructure development. That is on the side of the benefits to Africa. But of course, you know that the gold, the oil, and all of those other things go then to the United Arab Emirates. From solar power projects in North Africa to large-scale infrastructure ventures in East and West Africa, the UAE-backed initiatives are reshaping the continent's landscape. However, concerns about labor practices and environmental standards still persist. Remember, the UAE is where Dubai
Yeah.
is where Abu Dhabi is where our girls go to work,
Yeah.
is where the, again, working conditions and so on are extremely
In the
poor.
past, yeah, we have gotten reports of how horrible, yeah, the situation.
They still don't look at Africans as equal human beings.
We are just what?
We are just objects, I think, for use. They
Yeah.
use you, and then
It's so sad, and yet we continue. But you know, the conversation always is whenever we see people come in, it's a thing of what is the interest, and why is it that you see us as interesting enough for investment, but never.
no,
good
the
in-
investment is not for your benefit. The investment is to facilitate the loot that is supposed to take place. When they
So we
invest
don't
here,
just take it
when
for-
Uganda builds a road in Congo, don't imagine it's because Uganda is very interested in the development of Congo.
We are.
We are easing trade
I
between our
like how
two
you have
countries.
put it in quotes.
You get? Yeah, so that is what happens. So when the UAE comes and does this, or China does this, or the US, it's a little bit more obvious. For them, these ones will mask it and cover it and so on. The US will come, I'm told, I'm not even certain about it, but I'm told the US will give you $100 million. Then they will accompany it with expatriates who come from the US, who will receive their pay from their $100 million.
So already.
So already some money is going back to them.
Right.
Then they will organize conferences and seminars to educate you on how to use that money, and they will use the very money they've given you to do it. So by the time you touch the money, a lot of it has gone back to them.
Okay.
Yeah, when Japan is giving you aid, they will build the road. You get? They will build the road, and you will see it over many years and say, this is a JICA project. Okay?
That we got from there.
That we got from the Japanese or the Chinese as well. When they say the express highway is being built by the Chinese, you will see something visible, something tangible, unlike the US. So kigenda mu maaso ne bannaffe kigambibwa nti ate somehow we benefited via the I hear they facilitated the growth of our economies, especially in Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, and so on.
I want Uganda to be part of it because we send a mammoth of our girls and boys as well in those countries to go and make apparently a better living for themselves.
Is there anything we can do as a country to prevent that from happening?
I think it comes down to negotiating, because in the world I have learned that you get what you negotiate for. So as long as our country does not have the vision for its people enough to be able to sit on the table and say, you know what, even with the revenue that you are bringing in, there is ABCD that we are as well contributing to your economy. And because of that, we want a few things to be put in place. Because I understand right now the visa to Dubai is not as easy as it used to be.
It's not. I inquired about it and they told me, well, we can process the visa for you. But there is an extra amount of money. I forget how many dollars, but it's close to $500 that must be deposited to the agent that is processing your travel. If you return, it will be refunded.
And they want us to trust that that will happen. But okay, I get it, because even them, remember some of the cities that you have cited there, whether it's Abu Dhabi or Dubai, they want to put themselves at a certain level of tourism where different people, major players within across the continent,
big spenders,
across the world, yes, that they can go to those countries. Because I have seen very many people who come out, celebs who come out to say, oh no, instead of going to Paris, I would absolutely go to Dubai. Yes, I would prefer that.
And events, I've seen international events being transferred from Europe, being taken to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, and also to the United Arab Emirates.
Yes, so I believe they want to put themselves at a certain level, and yet we were hearing reports of what Nigerians and other Africans were doing in those countries. Ugandans, no, we are not that chaotic. So I want to believe that we were not part of it. So I understand why they would want to streamline some of those things. But at the end of the day, how about our Ugandans who are already there and working these odd jobs? Okay. What about them?
Okay. In other countries, they do things differently, like the U.S. In the U.S., President Donald Trump recently decided to put trade tariffs on Colombia, and say that merchandise coming from Colombia into the U.S. will attract a 25% increase in tariffs and so on. But now he has reversed it after Colombia decided to accept that if there are any Colombians in the U.S. who are there illegally, they will accept them back if they're deported. Yeah.
But then also, I like how the Colombian president came out to say, do not treat them like criminals. Because again, the conversation comes back to the fact that people go for greener pasture, for whatever reason it is. It's never a thing of, I would rather be in America than be in my own country. High chances are there are reasons pushing different people to the move.
Because if all circumstances remaining constant, I believe somebody would prefer to stay in Uganda, where fires do not catch, where you will not be shot without any reason, where the weather is absolutely heaven-like, and so on, instead of going to that extreme cold. Look at that already, just by the weather. You get. But look at how they are being arrested and treated and so on, just for attempting to enter a country illegally.
But here's the thing, of course, whenever you talk about it like that and you add illegally, it's, you know, different. For example, if you are looking for greener pastures, high chances are you cannot be able to afford maybe the fees or even the length of the process of what it would take for you to enter legally. So that means that sometimes people go through, you know, under the table deals to be able to make it. After all, you have labeled yourself as the land of opportunities, the land of everything working out. So if you have that shining golden feel to it, why are you refusing people from getting closer to it? And I get it, because of the resources. Once you have
everybody
an influx,
you're going to begin competing for those resources.
I understand that bit. But at the same time, being treated as criminals, how so?
Now, in this day and age, when you claim that there is a global village where somebody can live anywhere, if you, because this is what happens, and the complaint is usually with Africans and other perhaps countries and so on, the US gives you an opportunity to go to their country. They ask you for visa fees, $200. So how many Ugandans apply? Plenty of them. How many do they give visas? Very few.
Yes, very
so they make money off you. Then what does Uganda do? It says, okay, we want to promote tourism. If you're an American and you want to come to Uganda, so long as you have this kind of money, come visa free. I don't think it's yet.
No,
it's
not. Yeah, it's 50.
$50. Okay, 50 compared to
200.
200. So who is poorer of the two? So the poorer is paying more than the richer.
Here's the thing. We look at the bigger picture. If
Oh, thank you.
as a Ugandan, no, as a Ugandan, if we put our visa fees onto $200 already.
Is there empirical evidence that reducing the amount of money
Visa
increases
fees.
the visa, I mean the
The
tourists?
people coming? Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
That's a mega
Alex,
thing. That's
are you
compared to other things.
I'm telling you, it is. Because just think about it this way. If at all your flight ticket, a return flight ticket, I do not know how much it is for America, but I'm going to go about and throw there a number. Let me put it at $2,000. And that is your return plane ticket. Now, imagine you have your 7 days trip, and your 7 days trip has come to, again, $2,000. So if you had to pay 4,200 as opposed to 4,050, which one would you go for? Are you kidding? Alex, you cannot look at visa fees. No, that is the point. Have you done business in Chikubu?
No.
Okay, now me, I grew up with parents who actually do business in Chikubu, and I can tell you, even 100 shillings.
It is
makes
about
a
the
difference.
economies
bulk,
of scale,
You're talking about that.
the bulk and so
Either
on.
way, here's the thing. When you look at countries like Kenya or Rwanda,
That's why I asked
taking
you.
away
That's why I
from-
asked you that how does that increase the influx of tourists within the country when you reduce the visa fees, especially for a country like the US? You get it? Because there must be other reasons why people are coming. Why do people come? Is it only tourism or is it other business as well?
Of course, they have other business as well, but because travel is a luxury and not a necessity, we have to make ourselves in a position where we have to be chosen amongst the different
many
destinations that are available. And cost is a big one at it.
Visa,
Trust me.
surely?
Yes,
$100?
absolutely. $150. $150
That's a million
is
shillings.
kati ntono.
Million.
Ntono.
Ete
Ngoma ze
tezigwera
ngoma ze osasula like
ziringa
nsanvu.
5 mitwalo 5.
Nedda nawe.
5.
Nsanvu.
5.
Okay, even
Ensanvu is $200.
Okay,
Hey.
here's the thing. I still stand with the fact that if you reduce that, that is just one of the things that someone has to look at. You're talking about that, but then $4,000 would be like what? If we are looking at
$4,000 is around 18 million shillings. Or 17.
So if you are going
can
to pay
afford it.
17 million and then you have to look at unless
Well, keep it at that. We will not agree. I believe that they rip us off, and that is the bottom line. Bottom line.
is it on them?
It is. No. Then treat them
Or
the way they
on
are treating
us.
you. You get it. Don't make because chances are the increase in the amount does not prevent Ugandans from wanting to go to the US or paying that amount of money.
Again, because
so
of how it
likewise,
has
increase
labeled
those visa
itself.
fees and see if they will not come.
They won't. We shall reduce on the number, and yet we stand to earn from this.
God bless you. Have yourselves a pleasant day.